Howdy, everyone. It's the Island of Misfit Toys with Dreadnought Ryan and
It's Tuesday night, and you know what time it is. It's time for the Misfit Island. I'm Kit Bash Chris, the artist formerly
woohoo!
known as Fixer, the scourge of people that talk on the internet. I'm trying not to start any shit.
You know what? Shit happens. That's all you can say, as Forrest Gump would say. Half the time with the internet, if it does, it's usually, somebody's just got their feelings hurt. So.
Well, I didn't slap anybody on national TV, so that's okay.
Take my wife's name out your mouth.
And she's got alopecia.
Yeah.
Okay, that means her hair's falling out. The bitch ain't dying. It's not like she has inoperable brain cancer or something. I mean, I don't know.
I think it gets to the point of, and I'm going to play the curmudgeon old man thing. Comedians used to be able to be funny without having to take a cheap shot against somebody. George Carlin could be funny by using swear words. Eddie Murphy could be funny without having to, pick on somebody. It's not everything has to be a roast. Robin Williams was a genius as far as that goes. So, I think it's
I don't
just
know. They're all a bunch of rich assholes that are part of the what's his name's pedophile club, and I don't know. I don't give a shit about any of them, if I'm being honest. So.
But you know what? It also goes back to the point, like you're just saying, those people got more money than sense. So, but we're going to talk about something that we both love near and dear to our heart: Spiro Toys
Choice.
and Gridiron Studios. So let's get this started.
Speaking of which,
Uh oh. So as we
no.
all know, oh, you got it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say if we're gonna talk about Spiro, I need to get my
I was gonna
need to,
say I
need to
blame you for I blame you for this, for sending me these links of, hey, check this out. You'll pay when it ships. And I'm like, oh.
Hey, trust me, that train is coming up to the tune of like $570 for me. So you should have seen my wife's face whenever I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need some money by the end of June," and that's right after the end of April, where I got to pay for the extra stuff, the backer kit stuff that I got for Robo Skull. So
Yeah. I, that's killing me because I just keep going back and like, well, I'm gonna get one more Jungle Trooper. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get that. So
oh man, I had to cut mine down because I was at damn near $600, which was I got the first all in, and that was like I think less than 500,
yep, 440.
and so I got that one, and I got the was it the 5 pack? It was the Kickstarter exclusive 5 pack of the Blood Wolf Troopers. I got those, and those are paid for. And then after they opened the backer kit and they put the Jungle Trooper on there and the other stuff, Geyer Trooper or the Geyer Wolf, which that was badass, by the way. I know we mentioned that before, but that's just
Yes.
so cool that they did that
Oh,
for him. I didn't know the guy. That was after my time, but I have yet to even bring that up around anybody where they haven't had anything but good things to say about him. So that was really tight of them to do. But yeah, I added some stuff, and it was damn near another $600. So, but
it's
I had to cut
it
it down.
it's so easy to do with it though. I mean,
And
with the 4 inch too, you've got to have a couple extra because it's a 2-seater for the 4 inch figures.
mhm.
So you need to have more troops.
And Spiro. So I initially went in on that one for like I think I pledged like 135. I got like 2 or 3 figures. I know uh I got the Kickstarter exclusive one because that was really cool looking, and I know I got Thane
Oh,
because dude, that big son bitch. And I think I got a couple other ones. I'd have to check it, but then when the backer kit came out, I initially had, I bought Thane and I picked my figures and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm done now. I just wait for it to ship. And I talked to Jason a lot on Facebook and Instagram, and then we met at Joe Fest last June, and I saw the prototypes, and me and him got to talking, and he had opened it up, and he's like, oh yeah, you don't have to pay until everything ships. And I was like, when does it ship? He's like, oh, like end of June 2022. And he's like, treat yourself. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to treat myself. $570 later, I don't even remember everything I got. I
Yeah,
know I got
well,
at least one of everything.
and the thing with any of the Kickstarters is if there's something you don't want, you're going to get your money back and more if you decide to sell it or trade it
Yeah.
or do whatever. So, and what we have here is the 2017. This is the original 4-inch. So he had started out with that 1/18 scale for the AWOK figures. And now what we're talking about is the 6-inch scale that he's coming out with. So,
Here's
it,
an example of the 4-inch.
oh,
This is the deluxe Thane, so he's a bit bigger than than what the regular 4 inches are. But I mean, and I didn't realize this. I bought Belarus first because he was a monkey with a cyborg arm. How could you not do that? But both Thane and the Belarus figure came with parts to where you could swap them all out and make it a completely different figure if you want.
oh, so the modularity was there too. That's
So
awesome.
there's feet, hands, and a head that could make them like a. Unfortunately, I don't know I don't have the backstory because I was gonna get the comics and get the backstory, but he told me that they were gonna kind of tweak it a little bit in whenever Primal came out. So I was like, well, I don't want to get invested in that. I want to get invested in Primal. Um, but it's like an ox or a not an ox, a bison. And the Belarus one came. You could put a regular arm on him, has the different hands, and so there's a lot of stuff that you get. And it was like a $20 or $25 figure, which it's about on par for most of your independent toy companies. Um, and it came with a lot more stuff than what I was just showing you there. So it was
I,
definitely worth the money.
I was gonna say for even that small, the 4-inch scale figure to come with all that extra stuff, $35 is not bad. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think anybody gets upset with the price of something if they can go, I can justify spending that. It's when you get a figure, maybe a weapon, and you're spending $30 for something. It's that you have to make that buying decision for yourself of what's good.
Yeah.
But again, we've
When do
got
you draw the line?
yeah, and it's like some of the blank figures that you'll get where you just get a figure and a figure stand or a figure and maybe an extra head or a bunch of hands or whatever it is, and they're charging 25 or $30. You're just like
And then
but
there's
if it
shipping and tax and
yeah, and unless you're buying a big bulk of stuff, you just kind of go uh you know um the fresh monkey fiction with oh the line they have coming out, that's the remake of
the Eagle Force.
yes, those old metal figures. I bought a couple figures from Big Bad, and it's like you know if I'm buying just one, it's like it doesn't make sense to do it even with Big Bad because you can do pile of loot. So I
Hmm.
picked a couple figures out for the 4-inch. One is Eric's figure, of course, and I think I got the other one was the Charlie Brown. I
Oh
had to get
yeah,
the Charlie Brown figure.
those are pretty cool. I think I got a handful of stuff on pre-order for them for those new ones that are coming out. Like I got the one that looks like Jack from Big Trouble in Little China, and
Yes.
I got a lot of the I can't remember what they're calling them, but they have the alternate heads that look like the old school Action Force Red Shadows.
Yes, those
So
figures look, because you got to get like a couple of them to get that extra head to swap for the other figure, and that gives you that old Palatoy Action Force looking
yeah,
figure, like the Baron
and
Ironblood or the Black Major, or
and it's
so on and
just
so forth.
close enough to where I think it's going to work really well with all of the Skeletron stuff that I'm getting to. So I'm
See, and
looking
that's what's
forward to
cool.
that.
But I have the AWOK. This is for the 4-inch Kickstarter, and again, this is out on YouTube.
And it still blows my mind that this is like Jason and one other dude.
Ugh.
And he used to do customs as well. That's kind of where I'm finding out that's where he sort of started, was he was doing Joe customs in the 4-inch scale, and then he started AWOK, and it did really well.
And I have to give him credit because that it's hard enough to come out with a new toy line, but to have it be more animal based, which gives you at least an audience where it can cross a number of different like genres, the
Hmm.
mystical, the medieval, the fantasy worlds. But to start them out in a 4-inch scale instead of a 6-inch scale, that was brave. But they sold out of everything that they've had,
Hmm.
and the next iteration has to be the 6-inch scale, which now these can be used with Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Mythic
It'll fit in with
Legions.
Mythic Legions, Masters of the Universe,
Yeah.
if you want to go there. Yeah, there's so much stuff that these could incorporate into if you're into doing that. And like I said, I got to see the Paint Masters uh, at Joe Fest, and man, it's like every time I start to get that buyer's remorse about how much I'm spending on this, and then and he'll show another picture for like the Wave 3 that's coming out in 2023 or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot how just awesome these are. I mean, and they come with he's it's the same thing with the 6-inch. They come with the armor and weapon. More than look at Pale. He's got 3 different weapons there, and some of them have shields, and there's a whole mythology behind it. And it's like I said, every time I get that old man, I forgot why I bought this. I just go back and look at some of the pictures, or Jason will post something on Instagram. I'm like, oh yeah, god dang, these are amazing. So
And I think that's the hard thing right now, especially with collectors, is we have so many pre-orders or Kickstarters out there where you've put that money out and you don't have anything in hand, and you're just like, it's that wait that you just go, why am I waiting for this? I don't have it in hand. We're looking at 2023 for Roboskull, which I don't have a problem with that. But with what's been going on with the GI Joes classified, where it's like, you get these notices that keeps getting pushed to different, like September now for Crocmaster. It's
mm,
it just gets
now they're
troublesome.
starting pre-orders for stuff that's next year.
Yeah, exactly. And then you play the roulette game of which online retailer is going to get it first that you can order it from. So, you place multiple orders in different places, and then just whoever ships first, then you cancel the rest of them. I'm sick of doing that. So now I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
going to place my orders, and they'll get here when they get here. So, but the nice thing about Jason and AWOK is, like you said, there's Wave comes out this year. Um, so not only do you get the 6-inch, but he has 4-inch scales figures, which you've shown, but then also he has accessory packs for him as well.
Hmm.
So
In
that
both 4 and 6, by the way.
exactly. So that allows you really to take that next step and customize your figures even more. And again, like you're saying earlier, the comic. So he is creating a world to explain what exactly these characters are all about, or what the conflict is between, this group and the other group. These are some of the pictures for Wave 3, which will be coming out. And as you can see, I mean, just killing it with these sculpts. I mean,
I know.
absolutely killing
God,
it.
this looks so amazing. You can see his fangs.
Look at the red in the eyes of this big cat. I mean, just it's amazing. And the dial pieces that he's using, it's all simple stuff, but it just fits so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right here, just again, some reuse of a lot of the parts, but it's just how they position them just a little bit differently makes all the difference in the world. And really, a lot of the bucks look to be the same buck, but just different armament gets added or a different head sculpt, which makes it perfect because
Yeah,
then
and being animals like that, you could change up the fur patterns, and between the fur patterns and or the I should say the fur colors and the patterns of the colors and the different armor, you don't even really notice that that they're possibly from the same buck.
and the nice thing is that gives you the ability to customize these figures if you like the armor or the maybe the color on this one figure, but you want to put it on the other. It gives you that ability to do that, and that goes back to Jason being a customizer in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just that's gorgeous. Look at the shading on the armament and everything.
And that gives me Conan vibes right there, from the original Schwarzenegger movie. Whenever they put the camo paint on themselves, and look at that sword that he's got over there, it's so badass.
Did you ever watch the show Spartacus that was on Stars? That's what this reminds me so much of.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, if you get a chance, check it out. It's you can't go wrong with watching the Spartacus series. It's not for kids. I'll just put it to you that way.
Was that the one? Lucy Lawless was like one of the high.
Yes,
Okay, so I did see part of that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of nudity, a lot of gratuitous sex, and the killing scenes, and the gladiators battling with just, yeah, it was awesome.
Hmm.
But this gives me that kind of same feel. And then of course there's that big chunky monkey.
I messaged him one day, and I said, Jason, is that a Thane scaled army builder? And he goes, yup. And I was like, are you trying to get me fucking divorced? Because he knows how I feel about those big ass chunky boys.
Well,
And it's just oh man, the thought of having like a platoon of these big fuckers, just
yeah,
wow. I'm gonna have to buy a new house.
yeah, and that's the beauty part of it is you can add, customizing to them, adding a little paint here or there, and like you're saying, then it's a horde of these gigantic gorilla characters who are going to come in and destroy all of your other action figures. I mean, it's a solid idea. He's done a great job of putting these figures out there, and the sculpts and the designs are just spot on. I mean,
Hmm.
just spot on. Another. I mean, just that gives me like was it Kratos from God of War?
Hmm.
From that's what I get the feeling from
With
this
the
figure
red and the
from.
gray.
Yes, and just the
And
red in
I'm
the
really looking
eyes.
forward to getting the comics where we get to see the story behind the different paint scheme there.
And if you get a little bit of that backstory, it helps you when you want to create your own backstory to some of your own characters.
Yeah.
And uh, and of course, the first female figure will be in Wave 3, which it's just spectacular as well too. I mean, he's just knocking it out of the park. Just completely knocking it out of the park.
I love the red hair and the eyes, And I didn't even. I've read the first issue of the comic, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh wow, Mala, looking, that's amazing." And
Yeah, I mean, even getting the details down on the the straps, having that gold put in there, having a little bit of a shading that's done with it. It brings little bits of those details. The necklace being that metallic light blue just makes everything just pop a little bit more. I mean, she even looks like she has fingernails on her hands. I mean, that's those little things that
and
a lot of
I bet you
designers
once we get her in
miss.
hand, she does
Yeah, I mean those are those little things you can tell that Sparrow Toys puts that extra effort into.
for
So
sure.
I can't wait to see more. I mean, look at this bad guy. I mean, just a bad mamma jamma looking soldier. Just amazing. The sculpt, everything, paint.
I'd go see this movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This would be one of those perfect anime type movies that you could, put out there like what was it? Avatar type movie,
Hmm.
but it's all these. So, but Jason, great job. Spiro Toys, amazing work. I bought that Chunky Monkey and a couple of accessory packs. So I'm excited to wait to see what more they come out with. I'm making room on my shelf for my bad boy thing. But
Yeah, I don't
but
know
I
where I'm gonna put them. I have no idea where I'm gonna put them. I'll figure something out though.
it's sorry kids, you're gonna move into the same room together.
Right? Yeah, I've tried that before. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I know. I've
that
been there
didn't
too.
fly.
But we're going to get to something that's both near and dear to both of our hearts, and that is our good friends over at Gridiron Toys, Mark and his sons and his daughters and daughters-in-law, all those great people over there. Again, we'll put the links in the show description, but you can find them on their website, which is gridironprops.com, YouTube channel, Facebook, and of course, Instagram. Our good friends at A Toy Kind of Mood did a great interview with Mark. And somebody else I know, there was this crazy Texan at one point who did an interview with him too. Um, I had to
Yeah,
try to
but
remember what channel it was.
that asshole, he couldn't. He couldn't manage to get the audio to work, and then eventually the channel got deleted because he sucked so bad.
Uh, but
And
that's
we're
where
hopefully he'll be coming on to Welcome to the Terror Dome as well.
And that's another great show that goes back to our Geeks Have Game. Is it Geeks Have Game? It's A Toy Kind of Mood
Hmm.
is the name of the
Yeah,
YouTube
Geeks Have
channel.
Game is the channel, and A Toy Kind of Mood is one of the shows, and Welcome to the Terror Dome is underneath. It's like an umbrella. Geeks Have Game is the channel in the umbrella. It's our boy Travis and KJ and the other guys I haven't had a chance to talk to yet. But it's all people just like us.
Tony, of course, the great, amazing customizer, just killing it with some of that stuff that he just put out. I
Oh
don't know if
man.
anybody saw on Facebook, but he actually did a 6-inch scale three remake of a 3 3/4 inch Cobra eel. And it's literally the GI Joe 3 3/4 inch head scaled up to 6 inch,
Hmm.
and it's painted to look exactly like that old school O-ring Joe figure. It's just amazing that he could do that. So, he's
He's
just
got a
killing it.
bunch of different custom Joes that he's done, and dude, his paint work is amazing. I'm jealous of how good he can paint.
Well, he did a Wild Bill. He's done oh shoot, he's done so many of them. Low light. I mean, he just keeps coming out with more and more and more figures.
Recondo.
Ricardo didn't he? He did a. I thought he did a stalker too. Um, but
I don't remember.
he just keeps coming out with more of these, and they're all him just customizing Marvel Legends, Star Wars figures, classified figures. Adding
Hmm.
little touches to make these figures look like the way they should.
Also
Um,
a big gridiron guy, and he uses a lot of gridiron stuff. he doesn't live too far away from them, so he gets to go to the, to the where the magic happens, as they like to say.
Shoot, I'd be taking a whole bunch of empty bags with me and be walking out with full. Do you guys, what do you do with the ones that you don't use? I'm going to go raid your dumpster. Um,
Right?
but just some of the crazy things. So again, Mark and company came out with the Kickstarter where they created a howitzer, both in a Cobra blue as well as an OD green. These are, of course, 3D printed items, and I believe it did fund. So it funded, I think, within the
Oh
first
yeah,
day. I'm going to say within
it
hours.
funded and then some. Yeah.
But again, I mean, we're looking at May that these will be starting to ship out to customers, and the box that it's going to come in just looks crazy.
Oh
Almost looks
yeah.
like a wood crate. So these guys know what they're doing. They know how to give you that attention to detail, but they also know how to customize and make something look awesome. I wanted to get one of these so bad. I had it in my cart. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy it. I don't have room for it. And I just couldn't pull the trigger. And a lot of it has to do with just a simple fact of I have RoboSkull, and I know I've got some other pre-orders that are going to be hitting. And I just
Hmm.
didn't want to go crazy.
Yeah, the timing wasn't right for me either, man. Or I would have, it would have been an instant buy, with the stuff that they've added and just how good the thing looks, and the fact that it funded in what, February is when or no, it didn't. They didn't
No,
close it out until this month,
right. Yeah.
and it ships,
May.
in May. So
May.
it's like a 2 month wait, and dude, you guys should follow them on Instagram, because
Oh,
they always post these, the stuff on Instagram. The shots they get are amazing, and I'm telling you, these things. Oh man, this is my one regret about pretty much dropping out of the 6-inch scale, is not having all of this stuff to, not being able to put all of this stuff with a figure, not being able to do customs for that.
yeah. But
So
the nice thing is, Mark and company know this, and they're starting to come out with 1/18 scale stuff to match up to these things.
you
You
say
know, yeah,
1/18 scale
yeah,
from
exactly.
Gridiron? Oh,
Or how about the loadout for the Hiss tank, which gave you a new 50 caliber dual 50s?
oh, I think we can premiere this now. Here's the
Oh,
Black Major, and hopefully everybody will be
I'm
able to see.
looking.
So this was a Hiss 3 that I bought from Walmart, and dude, I love these
Oh,
cannons. There we
there
are.
we go.
The
Sorry.
cannon, so the rocket launchers, and let me get over here. And sorry for all the dust on it. It's Texas, West Texas. We're live in the middle of a desert.
I was gonna say it's a
Uh,
tank. It's supposed to have dust on it.
and just the Gatling guns here, and the 50 cal dual 50 cals. So I can take this out real quick. Hang on. Well, if I spin it the right way.
And folks that are watching, so this was the Hiss tank that Hasbro had come out. That was a Walmart exclusive. So I
Right.
know some folks were able to get these for like $10 a pop. And the nice thing
Well,
about what Chris has here is Gridiron
struggling
created this
getting it out.
whole loadout kit just for this. So you've got the rocket pots, you've got the mini guns, and then you've got a 50 cal on top of the Hiss. So it
And
removed that rail gun.
yeah, and take the one out that it came with, and this replaces it. So you've got a little seat there for your guy, and
Oh, so
you can.
so it actually looks like a turret would kind of look like.
Yeah. So instead of putting this in here, you take this out, and you pop this in there, and like I said, it's got the seat. trying to get used to where the camera is on this thing. You've got a little. Where's my finger? You got a little seat there for your guys if you want to, so they're not flopping around all over the friggin' place whenever you're trying to do something.
But then they also sit up nicely with the
Oh
gun.
yeah. So it took a little work, but I had this Black Major figure in there with the trench coat, and he was able to sit in there and grab the 50 cal. So if you get one without this unwieldy trench coat on there, it's even easier to put in. And they grab a hold of your handles there. You've got the old school sight, like the iron cross sights, and you've got the ammo cans on the side. I mean, just look how fucking gorgeous this is, dude. I was so blown away whenever I got this. And originally I was going to do a custom, like a railgun sort of thing for this.
Yeah.
And after I painted it black, and I got these decals from Toy Hacks, and after I put the decals on there, I was like, God, this just looks so good. And my custom thing looked more like something that would have been put together, cobbled together like Mad Max style or something. And just with how good I thought the paint looked on this, and with the decals and the rocket pods, I was like, I've got to put the 50 cals on there, because it would stand out so poorly against against that really awesome stuff, from Toy Hacks and from Gridiron. So I had to do that. But I'm still working on that for another one. I'm thinking about putting together sort of a junker for the Dreadnoks, and maybe they'll still use that one.
Somebody owes you that, and I need to get that sent out. I will get that. I was supposed to send that out to you last week, and I just life happens.
It's okay, dude. You don't have to. You don't have to apologize for not sending me stuff for free.
And
I'm not going to complain about it.
Just so I did get my
oh man,
little stubby in for my Cobra bat.
The day after so I did some trades for the bats that I found with Dana Fleming and Marauder Rubin on Facebook. And the day that I sent those out, or the day after I sent them out, Mark announced this stuff, and I was just like, oh, they're so lucky I sent them when I did, or else I'd have just been like, nope, I got to keep them now. So.
Well, and if he does these in 1/18 scale, the 50th and the 30th anniversary bats have the detachable arms, just like these do. So if they make them in a smaller scale, they'd be able to fit those other bats. And speaking of Toy Hacks, if you go to their website and you look up, they have bat sticker kits that you can get. That you put a sticker over the chest piece, and then also for the face. So like they have a Terminator one, they have just a number of different other style bats. Just kind of going across a whole bunch of different genres, like a Iron Grenadier bat, just all these different ones. So definitely for the 1/18th as well as the 1/12 scale, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I did just order this Bad Mama Jamma right here, so I'm going to add that to my my boat, because I need another minigun on it. And I want.
Yeah, you could never have enough miniguns.
Never, no, never.
When I showed the original version of that to my daughter, she goes, oh, gun goes. And I was like, yes, it does.
Yeah. Well, I got the inspiration, and we'll show it later on here, for my boat from a couple different movies that I saw. The SEALs had put out something Valor, a movie, and it shows
yeah, I know I watched that movie,
but it shows the river. It's an SWC boat, basically, comes up on rescuing these Navy SEALs, and double 50s, and these miniguns are just, raining hellfire and brimstone down on these baddies. And you're just like, oh my good God, I've got to build one of those. So,
Mm-hmm.
but again, Gridiron, here's the thing with Gridiron we got to understand is we call them, Chris has coined this term, wallet assassins, and they're killing it every day. Sunday, I think they ran a special. If you placed an order, they were going to send you a free handgun. They run these
Mm-hmm.
different offers, from here, different times. So, find them on Instagram, find them on Facebook, follow them because there's a lot of goodies out there. Plus, you get to see when all these crazy creations come out. So, we'll show you the.
Plus, that's a kick-ass logo.
Oh, it's crazy kick-ass. Now, Mark also said they got their start pretty much building props for movies and different things like that.
That just looks so good. I really wish that I would have that I had the resources for that whenever.
I just hope it's something you can order down the road, because I bet you anything I'll end up having to pick one up. Because he's going to probably do some Jeep or something to go with it, and then I'll be like, okay, now I've got to have it.
Yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. They're just getting started.
I mean, that whole setup right there is just absolutely nuts. And to have it in Cobra Blue. The weapons crates, the empty shells, the binoculars, the range finders, all of that stuff. He had, unlock kits for radio packs
and wasn't there a radar
radar.
dish? And the sandbags.
Yes.
The real 1/12 scale sandbags.
Yeah, it's crazy what they can do. But again, so if you go to their website, they're going to have 1/18 scale. They also have 1/12 scale, but they have mission packs. So these are specifically geared towards certain characters. The one you see there is a Roadblock with the old Ma Deuce. There's the character loadouts, another one where you can help create custom figures. Assault packs, which gives you multiple weapons, heavy weapons, helmets. I mean, they even have like a riot shield with a knife, attached inside, and then a nightstick. And of course, the rifles, handguns. Hey, if you're Mythic Legion fans, they have bladed weapons, sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And the newest thing is their figure stands, which are actually really nice. I bought a pack of them. And then, of course, the diorama pieces, just nice little things to have. I took my 50 off mine, but I keep the little wall. It's made out of a foam, so it's all painted up. Just a nice thing to have. And then for 1/18 scale, this is what they're covering the collectors across, every scale. So
Mm-hmm.
what you get that I don't, as being the 6-inch collector, but the vehicles. So the Fang, the Fang needs a build out. So let's put rocket pods and miniguns on it. Oh, looky there.
Look at this beautiful son bitch. It was like the thing that I never knew I needed until I attached it to it, and I don't know that I can have a Fang now and not have these rocket pods.
And one of the biggest problems with the Fang that I always remembered is the missiles that were on the skids would, if you were messing with it, playing with it, they would always fall off.
And it didn't change with the retro collection. They're a pain in the ass to keep on there, and it did not break my heart to take those missiles off to put these on. Not even in the slightest.
And I think that honestly is an improvement to the Fang, because it probably should have had rocket pods instead of just those missiles. But again, with Gridiron, they're going to cover you from 1/6, 1/12 diorama, maybe not 1/6, I'm sorry, 1/12, 1/18 diorama, and they cover the whole thing. I mean, the 1/18 scale pistols, the rifles, the Gatling guns, the miniguns are just absolutely amazing.
I'm trying to think. There's a if I don't have all of that stuff, at least like one. So like this was the last batch. I'd ordered some of these, or actually these are all the ones that I have that I haven't assigned out yet. So like here's the Street Sweeper. It's a 3-pack. I used one for Ripper. I don't really I never really cared for the Jaws of Life that he has on there, so I gave him that, the double-barreled shotgun. I think what I want to like paint the stock brown, and a good thing about it is they look really good in just the standard black, but if you want to paint them, dude, they're ready to paint.
Yeah, because they're resins, so the paint adheres to them really well.
45s that I've got several bags of these. I need to go through all my weapons and stuff and consolidate them again. These are like I showed you one of these earlier, the M4 with the 203 on it. I love that color because I've been doing a lot of like what you could call desert operators lately.
Yeah.
And I just really love how this works in with their camo. I got several of these just a standard like M4 M16 type weapon to give to, because I've started making a bunch of like background characters, and I think these will work in really good with those. Let's see.
But like you said too, most of these are going to come in either 2 or 3 packs depending on what you're picking up. So
the sniper, the AR sniper, is a 2-pack, and everything else so far has been a 3-pack. These are 2 of my favorites right here: the close quarters AR and the snub nose AK. I've been getting a handful of these. I need to order some more to give to, because I know that the Cobra soldier came with the Dragunov, right, and that the officer came with the AK. But to me, it seems like that the soldiers should have the AKs.
Yeah.
And the officers should probably have the Dragunov or something else. So like I've been giving all of my frontline Cobra guys these snub nose AKs. They look fucking great with them.
Well, and that's the thing is, that's the troops. They're going to have a machine gun instead of Dragunovs. But even with a 2-pack for a sniper rifle, for $7.99, you can't beat that. I mean,
and the quality's amazing, dude. It's I've broken some of them, and I've said this before. It was my own negligence as to why I bought them, because they're not. You're used to your GI Joe weapons I hate this with the World of Halo scale. The 1/18th for those weapons are just useless. They're floppy ass, just chunks of shit. And I wish somebody would make them. But if you look, the resin is nice and solid. It's got a little give, but I was being stupid and not paying attention to what I was doing, and it's like snapped off the friggin' the butt to it, and I was able to just glue it back on, and everything was cool. But I mean, I've had these figures, and I even had it with my 1/18th scale stuff, like the Maudus. I've got a Maudus on my Cobra Island Roadblock, and I bought the 249 kit for the Goldie block, the 01 gold block, or Roadblock, and all of these things have like fallen off the top shelf at one point because I've got a huge dog with a wire whip of a tail, and I haven't had any of them break whenever they've hit the floor. Knock on wood. I broke 2 of them. One was a CQB, and one was I broke the scope off of the AR sniper, and it was my fault. So it's just because I was being a ham-handed schmuck.
And these are resin printed, so if you've bought any 3D printed items before, you run that risk of they're not as strong as the ABS plastic or whatever, PLA or whatever other plastics that are out there. But this is a giving more giving resin than, say, some of the old school ones where, you just touch them wrong and they would snap
Oh
in
yeah,
half.
I've had some
So
older resin stuff that I bought from makers that it was just sitting on a shelf and fell over like this, and pieces snapped off of it, that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I mean, it's like anything else is breakable, but I was really trying, subconsciously. I was being negligently strong with them in order to break them. So they're pretty tough.
yeah, and I think though that goes to what some folks will say is like with your Fang and the Hiss build outs, they come with double-sided tape. And with some of the figure
Hmm.
kits, with the character loadout kits and the mission packs, here, you'll see they'll come with backpacks. Now, this mission pack is the only one that comes with a peg that does peg into the back of Roadblock. But with it being resin, and with especially these being classified figures or Marvel Legend or whoever else, those pegs are in different spots. And
Hmm.
you might need a deeper peg or a not so deep peg. So most of their stuff is secured with double stick tape. The nice thing about it is you can take that double stick tape off one figure, plop it onto another one, or in worst case scenario, take it completely off and just put another piece of double stick tape on and just keep moving along. But I know that some folks have said that, comments that I've read, like, how come it doesn't come with a peg? You don't want this kind of stuff to come with a peg, and this coming from the customizer in me, because each character, that back peg may be different. And depending
Hmm.
on the build of them, you may need a longer peg or a shorter peg to make it look like it's actually snug on the back of the character.
Yeah, I hate it whenever I'm making a character and the backpack has like a quarter-inch gap between their back and that. And whenever I bought my first kit, I didn't realize that it was double-sided tape. When I first got it, I was just like, oh, I kind of had that snobby ass, oh, this is the double-sided tape. What kind of ghetto shit is this? And it was the Modus that I ended up putting on the Cobra Island Roadblock. But man, I'll tell you, once I put it on there, I was so happy for the double-sided tape rather than the peg, because right after that, I was trying to do another 6-inch character and give it a backpack, and the backpack stuck out, and because of the way the peg was, the pack wasn't made for it. So like here's his back, right? And the backpack was sticking out like this.
Yep.
And I ended up taking the backpack out of the figure, out of the plan, because it just didn't work. And I've gotten to now to where, like, if I'm doing a custom and the peg doesn't work, I cut the peg off, and I bought a shit ton of double-sided tape that comes in squares, so that way I can just tape it on there. I've
So
fallen
this
in
is
love with the way that it works.
this is the Snake Eyes. This is, I think, well, he's not. Oh, it's the '01. I think it's the first Snake Eyes from the classified. But when you put his backpack on, like we were just talking, not only do you got to get it through this, but it sits. There's a gap,
Mm.
and I just
Beachheads
like
was really bad too.
Beachhead. I had to put silicone tape on it so that I could get it to stick in there. So now what I've done with most of them is I've just cut the peg off, and I'm using double stick tape to hold their backpacks on. Another thing I'm thinking about trying is just gluing damn magnets onto their backs and the backpack and using a magnet to hold it on, because I'm sick of
Yeah.
it.
Brian from the Go Figure Customs does that. He puts magnets in his, and that's awesome. Those look so cool
Or even if I
whenever
could
he does
just
that.
put a little thin sheet of metal on the back of the figures and put the magnet in the backpack and it sticks on. I'm
Hmm.
just because then it will look like it's sitting flat.
Yeah, but yeah, ever since whenever I got the double-sided tape, and I started looking at other options, with the magnets and all the other stuff. Now I kind of look. I'm like, oh, peg, shit, I don't want to have to jack with that. You know.
Yeah, and a lot of the higher end figures like SH Figure Art, the Mezco, they come with, their stuff is magnetized instead of
Hmm.
pegging in, and you're like, damn, that is so much of a better idea on how to get stuff to stay on. Because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, oh, a magnet, just pop it right back on. But yeah, completely agree. And you know, gridiron again, I don't mind the double stick tape. I use double stick tape for some of my others for some of my customs because it stays on there and I can just peel it right off, pop on a new thing. You can go on Amazon and pick up, double stick tape pretty cheap, and you can get the gel kind instead of the, sticker with the sticky whatever tacky kind. So it peels right on and off, and you're good, and it doesn't leave any residue behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again,
And it won't ruin your
gridirons
figure when you're taking it off.
exactly, or you have to use like Goo Gone or rubbing alcohol to get that residual stuff off. But
Mm-hmm.
again, goes with the foot pegs that they come out with. Some nice little stands. They are made of resin as well too, so they're a little bit softer, but they're not as wide as some of the other figure stands that you might see out there, either from like Small Joe's or even with Valaverse with some of their stuff. But the nice thing is they fit multiple lines, smaller, so they can account for shelf space as well too. So then we're going to talk about new product, and I mean, this is one of the things that I like is the Chris that they've come out with is just an amazing gun.
Yeah, that whole Chris line is because I really dig that gun. I would love to purchase a Chris Vector, just for plinking, just because it looks so futuristic and and cool. But the colors that he's used, in this whole line, is really been badass. I dig it.
Well, I bought it was a pack of Chris that allowed you to create I think it's like 3 or 4 different guns.
Oh yeah, the new build a weapon where you can build 4 different Chris's out of the one kit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I picked up that kit because it gives you pretty much all of these options here. It's in all black, so it doesn't have the color associated with it, but um, it just allows you to create different models of the same gun, and it allows you to create a gun for a specific figure. So one of them I put on my Lady J because nothing against the spears and all that stuff, but I wanted to give her a more of a weapons loadout look. So the Chris just gives it that nice gun for her to carry, but
Mm-hmm.
it's that kind of stuff that they keep coming out with that makes you go, they get what they're trying to do. And of course, this is my favorite right here. This is the the chainsaw. So
Oh yes.
oh, that gun is amazing. So it comes with 3 different attachments down here. You see the grenade launcher, but it has also a chainsaw and I forget what the
Shotgun.
other shotgun. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got the shotgun on mine.
But the chainsaw, I think, that's my favorite. I think of all time.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was such an insane idea.
and it makes sense because that was part of the thing that got me thinking I needed to have that Predator type of, troop pack of, Arnie and company going into the jungle. That just seems like that would be something that they would carry, and that's what got me started building that little sub team that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing they've came out with is this pistol pack. So it's in, this desert tan as well as black. But one of the cool things that they've done is not only this gigantic silencer, which is just amazing, but one of the pistols looks like it's literally out of ammo. The clip is coming out the bottom. It just that kind of stuff that you can have with figure photography or for some of your customs. It's those little things that they get that they just keep adding out there. They're Chris. The clip comes out. Majority of their stuff you get clips that come out, but they pop back in there and they stand in just amazing. But then they do these type of crazy things. So we saw earlier the weapons loadout kit for the bat. Well, the Alley Viper said, "Here, hold my beer." So not they just
that
they just kill me.
Gravedigger, man. I can't I can't not be impressed by that. Shout out to Ruben, Marauder Ruben, and the Gravedigger.
So that is based off of one of the Alley Vipers from later in the Joe line. But, to come with that minigun, this is a bull pump, correct? If I'm right? I think that is.
Bullpup, yeah.
Bull pump, thank you. But then, also have the grenade launcher. I mean, these are like the little packs that help you go, oh, this is just awesome. And it comes with the radio for the Alley Vipers too. So some of the things
it blows my mind how these kits, you see them and they look awesome, right? But then you get one and you put it on your figure and you're just like, holy shit. It's like you take your $20 figure and you've turned it into a high-end collectible. They look so amazing in person. The pictures really don't do it justice as to how good they look in person and post so well. And I really dig it. I dig what they're doing, and great people, Yes.
So this is the desert build out. It's basically to make a Dusty. So it comes with his old school styled weapon, comes with grenade launcher, but you also get, this backpack kit here. It has, a camo covered net. You get a knife. You also get your walkie-talkie. You get the helmet, and the helmet does come with, the cloth insert for the back of the figure. And then, of course, you get like this neck wrap. So, but again, this is a Flint figure that I just repainted because, you need to have desert troopers as well as jungle troopers. So, and these are the type of kits that they come out with. And just absolutely amazing. I mean, it even came with this one, which makes it kind of fun, a canteen that just secures right onto his belt. So, and yeah, completely, you hit the nail right on the head, Chris, is when you get these kits in hand, it looks great, and these are pictures, and you're like, I hope mine looks that good. And it absolutely does look that good.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when I bought Breaker, I was really just kind of getting it for the Ram. Because I was like, he's not really that great of a figure. And then I bought the radio operator kit for it, and he's definitely moved up into my my top 5 now. Just adding that that radio kit makes it look so much better to me. I mean, your personal mileage may vary. It may not do anything for you, but to me, dude, I like what it does for the figures. It just ups the game, in my opinion.
I completely agree with you. Because Breaker, to me, was just the guy that came with a motorcycle and a helmet. Mm-hmm. But once you added this pack, it really is Breaker now.
Because you also get that 9mm AR. Yep. I bought the 45 too, and with the holster. So I gave him the 45 because I didn't understand that. Why didn't Breaker? I know he comes with the motorcycle, right? But he's not always going to be on the motorcycle. And I really wasn't. To me, unhooking the Gatling gun from the Ram and carrying it around, that just wasn't Breaker to me.
No, and I get it. The Gatling gun that was added for the Ram because, let's just face it, the classified line is, as well as it's been selling and as many people that like it, I still don't think it has the big budget to allow them to really create more figures. So they have to reuse a lot of this stuff. So that Gatling gun allowed us to get that updated Roadblock that really looked like Roadblock should.
Yeah, at least it didn't come with a damn tuning fork.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. That killed me, that first one. It doesn't. You know what? And that's another funny thing that you mentioned. That is all of my roadblocks. I gotten rid of all of those weapons because they didn't make sense, and it was Gridiron that I used to give him the old Modus that he can carry around and blow everything
Mm.
up because that's what Roadblock should have.
So full disclosure, the tuning fork was one of the very few weapons, if not the one of the if not the only one that I didn't hate, because I would pose him in a way to where I was like, okay, I dig that, but it does not hold a candle to a Modus on Roadblock. He didn't really look like Roadblock to me until he was carrying a machine gun.
And I think version 1 was close to the second version 2 of Roadblock, that him carrying around that tuning fork just didn't make sense. If they would have made them more like a futuristic, Mega Marine style, that would have made more sense to me of why he's got that type of gun. But, if you're going to do aliens, you've got to make these guys look like the alien characters. And
Mm.
Roadblock just didn't look like that. So having him with this tuning fork is just sad because it's a tuning fork.
And I gave him I bought the 249 layout with the backpack and the ammo belt and put that on mine, and it looks so much better.
Now, this is my Cobra Island Roadblock with the Modus and the nice ammo pack. And between the two figures, which one is Roadblock? It's the second one. And even with this one, I do have the Modus, or the 50 cal, that he can carry around too. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm one of the few people whose feelings weren't hurt that we've got 4 different Roadblocks, because I was always a big fan of the character. I just never had him as a kid because I could never find him. So being able to get Roadblock now was like, damn straight, I'm going to do it. So, and then I found this online. Now, I know there's a couple, folks out there who've been pretty rough on, other creators, third party creators, with, whether they're doing 3D printing through, the resin or through the PLA printers. And cost, I've heard a lot of people talk about, with Gridiron, is, how much it costs for some of these things. But, the Nerd Arsenal, which I ordered one of these up, I just had to get one, is for your bat, but it's a charging station. And they have them for the 118 scale, they're $40. For the 112 scale, they're $65. But, I think what folks sometimes forget is, if we look at some of the prices for the Gridiron stuff, yeah, this weapon is $12.99. Some of the stuff is, $30, $35 for different things. It's because these folks have to print this stuff, and that costs money, costs time. These machines you have to use. You don't always get a perfect print every single time, so those failed prints still have to figure into those costs. So, I think it's just important for us as a community, if we're going to be talking about, different third party creators who are using 3D printing or different things, we need to understand that, some of this stuff does cost a lot of money to make. Here's the Nerd Arsenal. So this was the first one that I saw, or some of these additions to your Cobra bats. $30. That's $10 a pop for these. J&S Armory, which is another great manufacturer, has come up with some pretty cool stuff. We'll show in the customizing section. Woodtech Armory, which he has actually printed a Cobra water moccasin. This guy does great stuff. I purchased a swamp skier for my Zartan, as well as a Skyhawk. And he 3D prints all of this stuff. But
Oh wow!
I mean, It's 3D printed. You do have to do some sanding on it, priming it up. But if you don't mind that, it's giving us the vehicles and the scale that we're not getting from Hasbro because of cost. Here's his night landing craft, which is another nice thing for, your Firefly, or, if you decide to create a Cobra eel, but he's printing this kind of stuff up all the time and you can purchase it. And of course, another guy, Mark II Design, does amazing work as well. Not only does he sell the 3D printed items, but he'll also sell the files. So if you do have a 3D printer, you can go ahead and start printing your own stuff. But as you can see, he's created a number of different amazing additions: Fireflies, weapons, Zaps, bazooka. You have Optimus Prime's gun, Megatron. He even has the Regal kit for Cobra Commander that you can plug right into the back. So these are some
Another
amazing.
Great dude too.
Yes.
I got to meet him at JoeCon. Another really great dude. Designed the weapons for Valaverse Action Force Series 2?
2 and 3, I think.
2 and 3. He designed all the weapons kits for those. And he's got a Kickstarter that's coming soon for a vehicle.
Yep, and that was one thing. Mark II Toys. Is that what it's now called?
Mark II. Yeah, it was Mark II Design. Now it's Mark II Toys that he's putting out the Kickstarter under.
And you can find him on Facebook as well as Instagram too. So I'll try to add those into the show notes. But again, he created a Starduster kit. He has the Jet Jump Pack. He created Rock and Roll version 2 with the twin Gatling guns. So these folks are out there, and if you're not happy with what your figures come with, I know with McFarlane, they're running into the point that they can't have pew-pews with any of their figures. You can find a lot of the stuff out there that's going to fit the needs that you may have from some really awesome people. I mean, Mark's created a 1/18th scale Optimus Prime to put your figures in. And did you see he also did a 2-seater shark, and then he's doing a 2-seater 1/12 scale shark. The
thing's gonna be gigantic.
It's gonna be like the size of a kitchen table.
I think he's only selling the files for those. I don't think he's actually going to print them and sell them. He's just selling the STLs for those. I'm not 100%, but I think that's what it is.
I think he did have like 4 or 5 of the 1/18th scale 2-seater sharks that he had produced. But just seeing him print the 1/12 scale shark for himself, it's just crazy what he's got out there.
Yeah, it's big.
But, again, he's got some amazing stuff out there. Go check him out. He's on Etsy. So is J&S Armory, as well as Woodtech Armory Shop too. All on Etsy. You can go and find them. Put the links in the show notes as well. So, but just again, I know folks look at a lot of these 3D printing stuff and they think, man, the cost is expensive. You're getting some quality product, but most of the cost is the fact that these folks are producing this on their own, and print times on some of the stuff can be days.
And and if it's too much, if you don't want to spend that kind of money on something like that, I totally respect that too.
Yes.
I'm not saying, you're a piece of shit because you won't support these independent. Hey man, sometimes you just don't have the friggin' money. Trust me, I understand. Sometimes you just don't have the money.
And that's, please don't take that as what I'm saying. I think we all need to understand, though, before you start taking down somebody, we need to just do a better job of understanding what all goes into it.
Yeah.
I've looked into getting a 3D printer, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have the patience to put up with failed prints and, the design work and the software that you have to use. I'm like, I'll just pay this. I'll pay for this stuff.
Yeah, because I'm willing to pay an extra for somebody else to go through all that shit so that I don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Or another good friend of ours, White Mike, he's been printing up some amazing stuff. If you've seen him on Facebook, he printed off the pack rats from G.I. Joe. Absolutely blew me away.
They look so cool too.
And those are the kind of things where you're just like, that just sets everything off. And that's kind of what brings us into custom corner. This is my favorite part of the show, of course, is where we get to show off all the stuff that we've built and just some of the fun that we've got to have. So here's some of of course, I'm going to, toot my own horn on this one, but I have to thank Art G. Seeing him create this explosion effect, and our dog has a habit of killing every stuffed animal that he gets. So my wife, she came home. I was in my man cave, toy room, whatever you want to call it. And it looked like it snowed in our living room because he had killed 2 of his stuffed animals. And she's like, "Did you not know he was doing this?" I'm like, "No, I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention." So she's
like you're going to admit it. Yeah, I knew he was doing it. I just let him do it.
He was being quiet, and I didn't care. So she brings me this pile of stuffing, and I'm like, I can do something with that. So that's how I created this little blast effect. It's got an LED light behind it, so it's remote control. You just throw some paint onto the stuffing, and you can make it look like a nice little explosion effect. So thank you, Art G, for that idea. With my classified figures, I've been dying for a hit and run. He was one of my favorite figures in the Joe line. He came with that grappling hook and the bag with the string, and it was just something I had to have. So somebody was nice enough to trade me a breaker figure that they had an extra of, and I turned the breaker body and the Snake Eyes head from the movie into hit and run. And of course, Gridiron was nice enough to, supply this kit that I was able to put together to create my hit and run. With that dusty kit, I was able to create my Flint in desert camo and create a nice little diorama, which is some succulent plants I found on either Target.com or Amazon. And then also on Amazon, I picked up some of it's like a chrome film that you can actually cut. And I put that on my Cobra Commander head and my Viper. So it truly gives them that chrome feel like they had when we were kids. And then I committed a sin. I took Mandalorian figures and I turned them into Red Shadows. So this is my bounty hunters for my Red Shadows as we wait for our Skeletron figures to be released sometime. So painted up a couple of these figures just to have fun with them. Because like I said, if you're Baron Ironblood, you need to have, bounty hunters. And this was my last dio that I built out. Took a lot of inspiration from like Boily Hobby Time mini bricks, creating just a scene with dio with plaster and sand and dirt and little trees. So I have this now. We'll be using a lot in the summer to take some fun photos with my action figures. And then, of course, I've been working with LEDs. So trying to figure out how can I create a laser beam for my bats with fiber optic cable. But
I love this one.
This is one of my pride and joys. So this is my Cold Slither and Chill, as you would. Which I have other pictures that I'm not able to share. Because...
yes, you do. If you really want to know when you see this, if you want to know why I'm laughing so damn hard, you gotta DM Ryan and see if he'll show you the fucking pictures. When he first showed that to me, I was like, bro, what the fuck is this?
All I'm gonna say is Amazon is a very bad thing.
Yeah, be careful when you're searching for 1/12 scale accessories.
or 1/12 scale action figures too.
Yeah, if you really want to know, you gotta DM Ryan and let him show you. Oh, there's no way YouTube will let us have another video if we show some of that.
No. So this is actually, it's called Laurie's Dollhouse, which I found on Amazon of all places, right? And I wanted to have an apartment or something because I really want to do a video of cribs with either Destro or Zartan. And this is going to be the base for it. So it comes in these god awful. All I could describe it as is like an Easter egg color, so greens and blues and
pastels
pinks and purples. Yes, I don't even call it it's like baby puke colors.
Puke tails.
So just taking some paint and different things, sprucing up the the apartment, finding the stereo set. I had to created a sticker for my Cold Slither, and then I thought, man, Baroness and Destro, of course, as you can see here on the table, again, Amazon. Oh God, you can find alcohol bottles and beverages for your action figures, and that's what it is. So this is my Cold Slither and Chill. Here is the swamp that I did update for Zartan. And I have another figure that I'm going to be working on here real soon. Thanks to my good friend JD for sending me a box of custom fodder. And then, of course, the mustache or the caterpillar on the lip of Footloose. Another.
That is a legendary fucking mustache.
It's my Tom Selleck / that mustache can reach out to space and smack you. But I had to get a Footloose too. And again, Gridiron Studios has a great kit for that. And then I don't remember which manufacturer it was, if it was Sideshow or one of those. They had a statue of Flint and Zartan in the swamp. So I found this nice little swamp tree rot whatever at, of all places, PetSmart. So I picked it up, added some stuff to it, added it to my dial because it's just fun. And then this has been the big project that I've been working on. So it's my my SWC boat, and I did create a whole crew. We got Blaine, aka Roadblock, Flint, Duke, my other Roadblock, created Rock and Roll, Beachhead driving the boat. But this is all made out of pink insulation foam. So it honest to God does float. Painted it up, but it's just something fun. It's 19.5 inches long and about 10.5 inches wide. So it's a chunky monkey. But ran some LEDs, different things like that. I don't know if you can really see it, but this like black mesh kind of stuff is actually for crocheting, and you can pick those up. It makes a great flooring if you're trying to do like a factory or sci-fi type thing. Dry brushing on it works great. And then of course with my LEDs, this is from JNS Armory. He has swords for your bats, but also a mace. And then what I did for the damaged head, I drilled it out. I found some LEDs that run off watch batteries. So I did the same thing for the chest and for the eye, and then I created a Robo Snake Eyes too. So those are my customs, but I know somebody else who's done some amazing customs as well.
Hello.
Yeah, that's about it. Perfect time to put my phone on mute, right?
Housekeeping.
Do you need a towel? Do you want me to fluff your pillow?
So I'm kind of giving away the ghost down here. I've been waiting to show this one for a minute. So this is probably going to be this may be my last 6-inch for a while. So everybody remembers, how hardcore I was into Action Force, and and there were some disagreements and that sort of thing. So I'm not really, I don't really hang with that anymore. But I never stopped caring. And I was doing the sort of a half-ass build-up on Instagram of the Outcasts. And so this is my final reveal, which I'll probably put him on Instagram now that I'm showing him here. But this is the Outcast Fixer. So I took the Hawkeye from Old Man Hawkeye body, and this is the CQB from Gridiron, because I just love this. And I made the strap out of it was elastic that you would put on a shirt or something. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I made the strap for it. The poncho was from Overwatch character. It was a full poncho, but I split it and kind of folded it and cut some pieces off of it, and you can see here where I glued it in the back. There's got to be a way I can make it look a little bit better, but I mean, he was intended to be kind of like wandering the earth like Kane in Kung Fu, and I gave him the Steel Brigade Commander head. He's got this is from the Riot Gear pack, so that the little med pack and the
holster
and everything, and just this is probably my favorite 6-inch custom that I've done.
It looks phenomenal.
I love it. I keep it here on my desk, because I work from home now, and he stays here all the time, and it's just I really dig him a whole lot. So I'd been working, trying to do something with that buck, and I could just never kind of put my finger on it. But like I said, after everything went down and I split with that crew, I was like, that's the one right there. So that's it. So I've got some other more simple ones. Oh, I lost his mask. I've got some more simple stuff laying around here because as I think it's been widely talked about amongst my circle of friends that I'm really into 1/18th now. So I don't like The Rock. I think The Rock's kind of a fucking blowhard. I like him. He's funny, but I feel like he needs a truck to carry his fucking ego with him. And I've got enough. I've had enough Roadblock. Rock has Roadblock figures to probably start my own little Rock army. And I created super simple. I wouldn't even think this isn't even really a kit bash, more than a part swap. I just took all the regular gear off of him. These are from Marauders, the little spiky handled knives.
Love having those knuckle dusters on them.
Yeah, and I put this, and my inspiration for this was from the early Real American Hero, when Cobra Commander had captured Duke, and they were forcing him to fight. And he had the guy, they had the one big guy, and I'm like, well, dude, this could, if this guy, he's got like the mask on, so you don't really know who he is, but I could just see a dude like massive like this, where he's beating your ass and he's holding, almost, these are like brass knuckles.
Yep.
For the for malintended people, and if he doesn't get you with those motherfuckers, he'll just cut your ass.
Cut you.
So, I really just kind of, it was real simple, just added some knives and a mask, and then boom, there he is. Sometimes it's like that.
And you don't have to create, completely new characters. Sometimes it's just the little small changes that makes all the
Hmm.
difference in the world. And the nice thing is you can create your own backstory for each one of your characters. You
Yeah.
know, for for my Flint and his desert gear, Lady J kicked him out, so he had to go to the other side of the world to stay safe.
Yeah. Because she fucking up.
Because she's gonna kick his ass. So, but yeah,
And
and then of
and that
course that
I like that more than like trying to just make my own. And this is not a shot on people that make their own versions of already established characters, but I just really kind of prefer to make my own characters and give them my own story. Um, I've got
oh yes,
Whisper. She's an assassin, and what I really dig, and I'm still kind of trying to flesh out the bulk of the her backstory is like she's silent weapons, right? Silenced. She's got the silenced sniper rifle. She'd rather get you from a distance, but if she has to, she's a bladed weapons. She's got the sword, but she gets really offended if you call her a ninja. She's not a ninja.
she's an
She's not
assassin.
in she's not into that. I can't remember if I had Warhorse in our last episode, but I know I've shown him before.
Oh, he looks
Now
good too.
he's got a green beret, or he had a green beret before Captain Fumblefingers here dropped it, and the green beret's smaller than my pinky nail that I pick my nose with, and it got lost in this fucking mess of boxes and stuff that I have on my floor. So Warhorse. So far I've developed. He's just he's kind of like the old, the old soldier, the old Warhorse, right? Um, so a lot of these, there's some that I've done where I haven't even done backstories for them yet. They're just kind of there. But I think the last one that I'll bore everybody with is the Reaper.
I love that figure.
And so this started out as it was a kit from Marauders where it was JAMA. But I've like changed the head and the weapons. Oh, and I was talking about that's the sniper AR
From Gridiron.
from Gridiron. Um, and like I gave him the little shotgun that I have trouble keeping that on there. I need to figure out how to adjust that clip a little bit better. But so
Oh
like I
yeah.
figure he can either get you close up or he can get you from far away, just whatever it is. So I've started developing a whole story where he's the leader of like a black ops squad or a night ops squad. And the other guys, I think I'm going to have them in a black and gray armor, almost look like Death Troopers from Star Wars.
Nice.
With the way, and it's funny. I was showing Marauder Ruben. I was like, "Dude, I'm looking for these parts," and I showed him this picture, and he started laughing because it was a picture. It was a promotional picture that he did for the original Kickstarter of the original Marauders Task Force Kickstarter. Whenever they went from making weapons to making figures, he made the figure and then took the pictures, and I was just like, "Dude, I love that figure. I'm totally stealing that shit." And I'm just changing it up a little bit. So yeah, I've had a lot of stuff like that. I've got a whole pile of things. Sorry to get all up in the camera. I haven't named this guy yet, but he's been kind of a mixture of another gridiron weapon. That's what I was talking about. How I love, because that's a GI Joe vest and Marauder pouches, and they all just kind of fit, right? The hat,
Yep.
and even though it's 3 different manufacturers, but it's just I'll just put these parts. I'll sit out in the living room, and I've got a little TV tray that we bought from IKEA, and I'll just sit there with the parts that I have and just put stuff together and just kind of let it. I've said this before, where like the figures will tell me what they want, where they want to go, and I just kind of put the stuff on there, and then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's a good one right there. So I've got
Those
tons of these little things laying around now.
the agency ops, the guys in
Hmm.
the blue jeans and stuff for Marauders. I love those figures, and the kit build outs you could get for those were amazing. Even the
Hmm.
suited figures that they come out with. I mean, Marauders alone covers that whole spectrum for customizers because
yeah.
you can create, like you're saying, you're creating your team and your backstory to go with them so that you can keep, creating them. And the nice thing is you can, tell that story and use those figures towards it. And then that's the fun part of it. That's what we used to do as kids is play with toys, is create that whole backstory and for all of your figures.
Mm-hmm. And here, this is one of the guys that I got from you in that trade.
Oh yeah.
So I like, you put the short sleeves on him, right? And then I can't remember what was it, 16 hours or the one about Benghazi?
Yeah, 13 hours.
13 hours. Yeah. So after seeing that, I was like, you know what? I could throw like, a vest on him and give him an M4, and he could be one of the guys that was, in Benghazi. That's kind of where I'm going with this dude. He doesn't have a full kit. Like you see, there's still spots down here where I could put stuff, and I might just leave those off because
Right.
it's one of those things, where they were surprised by this and they had to hurry up and kit up and fight. So,
And for a lot of them being, CIA, operators or, basically, soldiers for hire, private military contractors, they didn't have that full kit build out like they did because they were supposed to look incognito for a lot of that stuff. So, and like you're saying, you're getting attacked, you're not going to have time to go, oh, hold on, I need to, get my kit together.
One last thing that I forgot, I almost didn't show her. You and I actually brainstormed this one night where we've got the Black Major, and I was trying to figure out who's going to drive this tank. And we're like, the Black Major is the kind of guy in my mind who would have a squad of badass women drivers and just assassins, and kind of like the I can't remember the name, the Black Panther's honor guard, Dora Milaje,
or even just, the Bond villain. It's like Goldfinger. How he had
Goldfinger.
The women
Pussy
were all
galore.
Yes, exactly.
But here, so she's in driving now.
Oh, she looks awesome.
But it's the and I'm thinking about I'm gonna get the black shin armor and put it on her. Let me pop her out real quick.
Those stickers from Toy Hacks on his tank are amazing.
No, dude, they were like $13. It was so worth it. So I'm thinking about I'm gonna put the black shin armor on her, and I'm gonna dry brush some silver to where it looks like it's scraped, because I could just see her being, like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, where like she's just, you see those the jiu-jitsu guys where they're kicking dudes, or Muay Thai, something like that, and she's using those metal shin guards just to fuck people up. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to her, but I think the story will do, more of the talking, just the lore behind it. But so she's the driver of, of the Black Major's tank, his hyena, and I'm probably going to make some more of them to be like, his bodyguards or whatever. And I've taken a notion to calling them Valkyries, because that's, whenever Marauder put out the line of females, they were Valkyries, and I was like, that's a pretty badass name. I might just stick with the Valkyries name, since they're all Marauder parts. They're all Marauder Valkyrie parts. So, and like I said, I've got a bunch of other little ones around here that I've got so many figures on my desk that it's ridiculous. I never have a lack of something to play with while I'm working. It's crazy.
Yeah. All mine are right next to me here, and with the funnest part is, I'm gonna share this here. Let's do. So with this, with this group here, the one thing that always was missing for me and Joe is, once I saw the movie Predator, I think I was like maybe 9 or 10. I don't know. just that small group of badass dudes who were basically, like you're saying, a death squad that were going to go in there, rescue those, the Green Berets that had went in with Carl, for Carl Weathers, who's the CIA guy. I'm like, I need to create that now for my Joe team. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I took a gung ho, gave him, the woodland camo, stuck him with the little minigun that, basically Jesse Ventura used. So, and then I've got my Roadblock, who's got, the chainsaw gun. So he's carrying that with him into the jungle. Flint here's got the street sweeper. And then of course this is my Snake Eyes World War II version. And once Hasbro releases that Stalker figure, he will be the final piece to this team.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got him. Gridiron had that 50 cal single shot sniper rifle, so he's carrying that around, and then he's got his 9 millimeter um, you know gun, and it's just like the perfect thing to be able to create this backstory of they're going on these missions, kitting them up, and as weather starts breaking here in Michigan, where it's not colder than a witch's tit, and I can get outside, and have, more fun with these guys taking pictures, doing the stories. It's just like, I just can't wait to do it. That's
Mm-hmm.
the funnest part of it, is building these whole backstories, that you've created. And like you're saying with your Black Majors, that's an awesome idea to have him be surrounded by just these deadly women assassins who people wouldn't think anything of until they're getting their asses kicked by these
Mm-hmm. They
strong women.
overlook them because they think that, oh, that's just arm candy for the Black Major, and then, you know, whenever they're handing them their testicles, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just so smart. And that tank looks so badass. That gridiron pack just completes that look. That's
Mm-hmm.
what the Black Major would roll into battle with. And when you get the Skeletron Robo Skull flying over,
Oh
oh,
yes. Yeah, I can't wait to be able to do that display where I have him in the middle and the two, the red ones. And I want to figure out something else to do. The Crimson hiss from the Retaliation or the Rise of Cobra, the one that you bought me for Christmas. That I really feel like that needs to be something. There's something there,
right.
right? But I haven't quite figured it out yet. And as soon as I figure it out, because I want it to be part of that universe, because it's got the fold down, like it could pop up and you got that fold down hatch, and it's the first thing I thought of with that fold down hatch, the way that it was, is the prisoner transport in the skeleton in the Robo Skull, because you put them in there and it brainwashes them, and I'm like, well, why could this could be the same thing? It's a command vehicle. You could throw a prisoner in there, like, oh, you capture a high value target, throw them in there, brainwash them. Now they're part of the war hive. You know, um,
Oh,
so that's where I'm going with that, but I haven't quite figured out the rest of the story around it yet.
or how about that hatch opens up and then some of those little death dealing Robo Skull spider drones come out of there and open up a can of whoop ass on everybody as well too.
Because those
Yeah.
heads come off.
Yes, they do.
So, that could, I thought about that too, where like a couple of them come out and,
Oh,
and then like go after them, and the head pops off, and it does like a Destro thing, Man in the Iron Mask, where it'll cover them, and that turns them into like a Frankenstein type drone. There's all these things have been kind of spinning through my head. So now that I'm done with this hiss, I may kind of, I need to finish some other shit, because I've got that little bird that's still taken apart that I need to finish doing that. And I bought that Batman car,
oh yeah.
for the Dreadnoks, that I need to do something with that. I mean, I was going around. I just did another trade with Marauder Ruben, and he was showing me some of the vehicles that he wanted to send me, and I was like, dude, I'm like, I got vehicles out the ass to customize already, and I start counting them like, oh my god. But I know I'm getting two of them. I'm getting the Eagle Hawk. I
You need
couldn't
the
say
Eagle
no to
Hawk.
that. I couldn't say no to that. That looks. The only thing I'm torn about now is the one that he's sending me is mint in a sealed box.
So what?
And I'm like, well, there's that part of me that's like, dude, that's worth a fucking fortune. But well, okay, let's admit it. I'm gonna open the fucking thing. I'm probably gonna, break some mint in box collector's mind wide open, but it's got to come over because I want a Chinook,
Yeah,
and
and with that, with that Eagle Hawk, with the group that you're building, as the good guys, how are they going to get around?
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it fits perfect in there because it's the desert camo version.
did I send those backpacks to you? I thought I did. That have got they're silver and they've got like the orange clips.
Yes, yes.
That will
I watched a review where because I've kept them in a box. They're down here underneath my desk. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but I'm going to do something. And when the guy was reviewing it and he showed how you could hook those up to him, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's it right there.
because that's the only thing that was missing from that Eagle Hawk is having that, the fast rope. But if you've got those things, clip the figures in, they step out, and then you're fast roping down, bringing them all out. Plus, the Roadblocks mod deuce for that 1/18 scale, you can pull out the Eagle Hawks small, itty bitty 50 cals, and you can pop those other ones in, and it actually looks more. I don't want to say realistic, but it fits the scale better with.
It looks more badass.
Yeah, like a real door gun would be there.
And I think I've got a couple extras of those. Pretty sure I do. So yeah, and the other one is it was like the truck, the evolution of the Vamp. And
the Ninja Cruiser.
Yeah, the Ninja Cruiser. And I saw a review on it, and I was like, oh man, I don't like those colors. And initially, I was like, you know what, I don't want that one. But then I found there was a guy on Facebook, and he linked to his YouTube channel. He's a small YouTuber, Killshot 118.
Yep.
And he had one of those, and he was showing how he took it apart, and the part that's kind of like the color that I don't like made it black, so now it's like black, it's all black and gray. And I was like, oh fuck. And I'm texting Ruben, I was like, dude, is it too late to get that? And he's like, no, I got you, man. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that to not a Ninja Cruiser, but I need like a Jeep Humvee sort of vehicle.
And that is cool because the tires pop on and off. And it also has a suspension to it. And as stupid as it sounds, it has cup holders in it.
No shit.
No shit.
Well,
and it fits figures in there comfortably. It's awesome. When I had it, that was the first thing I did is I changed it from that blue color that it was. I painted it black. And as soon as I did that, I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I want to leave the doors gray, but I want to paint the rest. I want to paint the rest of it black because I like that black and gray contrast.
And the nice thing is the back part where like those missiles are, because it's that fire, pull the thing and it shoots the missiles. That comes out and that back comes out, and that's just like a nice little storage area that you can pop in there.
And what I'm gonna test whenever I get it is to whether or not the 50 cal kit from Gridiron will fit in that port like it does in the his tank. Because if it does, I'm ordering another 50 cal, and I don't care if it's like if it violates all the laws of physics by putting dual 50 cals on a vehicle like that, it's going on there.
Yeah, well, who cares? It's your vehicle. Do what you want with it. So, I mean, come on, it's a Ninja Cruiser that already violates everything. So,
right, so. But yeah, that's pretty much, that covers all the customs and stuff that I had, and or at least the ones that I can reach right now. and hopefully by the time we were able to do the next episode, I'll have another nice batch of stuff that I've cooked up for us. Because dude, you've been knocking shit out, man. You're going crazy.
Well, I've been, Dorkside's been running sales. I mean, I've got.
Oh, these babies, Ryan. These babies want to go outside.
I've got all these extras that I picked up for half price. So I'm like, oh, now I got to figure out some custom figures to do. So,
oh yeah. Well, you might have a box coming as well. So.
Well, and JD just sent me a big old box of some, custom fodder, and
I saw that today.
Oh,
that kind of gave me some ideas.
Well, he had an Overwatch figure in there, and he's got like it almost looks like he's a car driver or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at it and I'm going, he's a pilot. He's a pilot, and I'm just like, what kind of pilot? And then I just went, the Night Raven pilot. I'm going to paint this guy up to look like the Night Raven pilot.
Nice.
And then I'm thinking, well, he's 6-inch scale. Do I need another Roboskull? What if I put him as my pilot for the Roboskull? Then I'm just like, oh, son of a bitch.
That's how you start going down those very expensive roads.
But I have this shelf will be my Roboskull, but two of them are going to take up so much space. I can't imagine having 3.
I can imagine it. I just don't know. I don't know how much luck I would have with that.
They're like this freaking big. They're huge.
It's huge. So big. So big. I can't wait to see the size of my box.
I know. I was like, hey, Ben, what airport and when are the Roboskull coming back from Ireland? What date and time? Because it might get, taken off a truck.
We can escort it.
Yeah. When do I get my turn?
Escort service. Well, buddy, my phone's been sitting here blowing up while we're talking. So I guess we better call this one an episode.
Yeah, I think we're like almost 2 hours again. So thank you again for joining me, my brother.
Always a pleasure, sir. Always a pleasure. Glad we were able to work out some time to get together, man.
Life, brother. Life happens.
I know, right? Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Ladies and gentlemen, our supporters, I think 11 of you, thank you very much for subscribing. The show will be more, we'll have a next one out sooner than later. So,
let's be honest, we're still going to be freaking sporadic as shit because we've got to work and we'll plan something and we'll be like, oh, fuck, Ryan, I'm so fucking tired. I didn't sleep because the dog shit on the floor last night. Can we do it tomorrow?
My wife wants me to drive all the way out here. Yeah, but it's fun just to get together. So thank you for joining me, my brother. Kit Bash Creations at Kit Bash Chris, the creator of all the great 1/18 scale. This is Dreadnought Ryan. We're signing out. Have a good night.
Later, everybody.
Bye.